You two know what to do, right? Well, no worries then. We shall go over the basics to what to do in the event of a fire evacuation. The General Manager or the Duty Manager will act as Chief Fire Warden during the event of a fire evacuation. They can be identified by them having a white hard hat and a vest. The Chief Fire Warden will be the person directing the fire evacuation efforts for the resort, and you will be following their directions via radio. You will be allocated a job in the aiding of the fire evacuation. The Chief Fire Warden will allocate people to different areas to aid in evacuation and redirect guests and staff to the assembly area. 2 people, including the Chief Fire Warden, will man the fire panel. 1 person allocated to the front entrance, 1 to the lift entrance, 2 to the assembly area, 1 to the car park entrance, and finally 2 will be allocated to investigate the at-risk area. In this case, that is the 2 of you. So, before you rush off to check the areas where you have been allocated, what are you going to need to take with you? So you will require a radio. Switch to channel 4 to communicate with the Chief Fire Warden. A laminated sheet with fire evacuation, please stay calm and follow me, written on either side in English and Mandarin. Chalk to mark doors of rooms that have been checked. A torch in case of dark areas. And a vest and a hard hat to signify that you are the fire warden on duty. We'll need 2 staff to investigate the at-risk areas where the fire could be. The main areas to know is the reception, the villas, the daytime assembly area, and the nighttime assembly area in the underground car park. When you arrive at the villa, go to the top floor rooms and work your way down when performing your checks. Knock on the door and announce, "Hello, this is a fire evacuation. Is anyone in there?" And give a moment for a response. Be sure to check door with the back of your hand to see if hot. Then check the doorknob to see if it's hot. If neither are hot, you can begin entering. Upon entering, advise any guest to stay calm and to follow you to the nearest assembly point. Also, make sure that they do not bring any possessions with them. If guests in the room are hearing impaired or are one of our many guests visiting from China, you will have your laminated sheet saying emergency evacuation. Stay calm and please follow me, in English on one side and Mandarin on the other. Be sure to check every room, under beds, and also in closets in case of children hiding. But what if the guest does not want to leave? Not moving, hey? Well, best practice is to ask them a second time. If they still do not wish to evacuate, leave them behind and report their location to the Chief Fire Warden, who will inform fire services. Forgetting something? You'll need to make sure that you've marked the door in chalk. 1 stroke to say that you have checked it, a second if it has not been. If a guest is unable to self-evacuate, discuss and assess whether they will be able to evacuate safely for them, you and others. If not, assist them to a safe location in the fire stairwell and advise the Chief Fire Warden of their location, who will pass this information to the fire services. Make your way to the evacuation assembly point along the pathways. During the day, this point will be across the street at the golf course car park. At night, it will be the car park under the hotel. Also, be aware of traffic from both directions to allow safe passage across the road. Everyone should obey directions from the Chief Fire Warden and the fire services and stay at the assembly point until the situation is safe. Under no circumstances should staff members or guests be allowed back to the building until the all clear is given. Similar strategies should be implemented within the reception area. Evacuating from the conference rooms upstairs should be down the stairs. And never use the elevators in the time of an evacuation. Restaurant staff should have back of house shut down any equipment such as gas, whilst the front of house calmly ushers guests through the exits. Same strategies go for the gym and day spa. The managers of the gym and day spa areas should also have a list of all staff and guests on site, or using the facilities brought with them to the assembly point. If at all possible, it is best to not attempt to fight the fire, as it may put yours and others' safety at risk. In the event that a fire is blocking your exit, these are the equipment to use to fight the fire. To use the fire extinguisher, remove it from the bracket and check the pressure gauge. Pull the pin on the side, aim the nozzle at the base of the fire, squeeze the top lever and sweep the hose from side to side. Make sure that you have an exit behind you before operating the extinguisher. Fire hoses are only to be used on fires involving wood, paper and textiles, not live electrical equipment or flammable liquids. To use a fire hose, turn the valve on and release the nozzle. The fire hose can then be operated like a garden hose and can change the spray pattern from a spray to a jet by twisting the nozzle. The fire blanket is used to smother fires in cooking fat or to wrap around a person if their clothes catch alight. First thing to do when putting these fires out is to turn off the heat source and then to pull on the tabs of the fire blanket packaging to release the blanket. And then you will need to hold an upright position to shield yourself from the fire and then place. Do not throw the blanket on the fire for at least 15 minutes. It appears you've entered a room full of smoke. The best way to get out of this is to drop to the floor and crawl your way out. Oh no, your hair is on fire. Roll along the floor to snuff it out. Well, that was a close one. Looks like you're okay now, but you're still in the thick of the smoke. Continue crawling out to the nearest exit. Congratulations! You have just completed your fire evacuation training. Even though we hope you never have to experience an actual fire evacuation, it is always best practice to be prepared in the case that one actually does.